In this video for section 2.2, we're going to look at what's called related conditionals. So your conditional statement looks like if hypothesis, then conclusion. You could say if blue, then red. A statement called the converse looks like this. If and then stay put, but we're switching the red and the blue. So the converse would be if conclusion, then hypothesis. If red, then blue. The inverse is a statement where you're going to negate the hypothesis. That's what this little tilde means. So if not the hypothesis, then not the conclusion. It's just like the conditional, except we negate the hypothesis and the conclusion. Contrapositive is just like the converse, except we negate both of those. So the contrapositive would be if not red, then not blue. That might sound confusing. So we'll do an example together. A figure is a quadrilateral if it is a rectangle. That's a true statement. What we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this in if-then form. I don't know why this is underlined. I don't know how to underline. If it is a rectangle, then it is a quadrilateral. Notice how I use the pronoun second here instead of a figure. So you can replace the pronoun up here with if a figure is a rectangle, then it is a quadrilateral. And I can use my colors here to help as well. I know how to use my colors, I think. That's your if-then form for this statement. If a figure is a rectangle, then it is a quadrilateral. That's true. That means the same thing as this. Remember, equivalent statements that we did in the last video. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is write a converse. So we need to say if red words, then blue words. So if a figure is a quadrilateral, those are my red words, then blue words, it is a rectangle. Put my colors in there to help you. Does this have the same meaning as the if-then form? If it's a quadrilateral, is it a rectangle? It doesn't have to be. I can think of a lot of quadrilaterals that aren't rectangles, like parallelograms or trapezoids, so on and so forth. The conditional does not have to mean the same thing as the converse. Inverse looks just like this conditional. So I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it. But there's one difference. You need to negate the hypothesis and negate the conclusion. If a figure is not a rectangle, it could be a lot of things, then it is not a quadrilateral. I could pick something that's not a rectangle that is a quadrilateral. So that's false as well. The contrapositive is formed by taking the converse. So I'm going to copy it. And paste it with one difference. Negate it. If a figure is not a quadrilateral, then it is not a rectangle. That's how you write the contrapositive. Now think about its truth value. If it's not a quadrilateral, then it's not a rectangle. If you don't have a quadrilateral, there's no way it can be a rectangle. That's true. So when you write your related conditionals, the if-then form and the contrapositive are always going to mean the same thing. The converse and the inverse, they're always going to mean the same thing. So I'm not saying that this first one and this last one are always going to be true, because they might be false sometimes, but they're always going to match truth values. If that's true, that's true. If that's false, that's false. If this is false, the converse, then the inverse is false. If the converse is true, then the inverse is true.